Oh God, my head. Jeez, I was. Hey, wait, where the hell is this? Well, my name is Dr. Pin, and I have been, the one treating you while you were in a coma. Oh, thank God, that was all just a dream. You see, I had this horrible dream. I was scheduled to be, reviewed, like in an action figure review series, but, the person who made the series just stopped uploading after a couple months. But, hey, thanks for treating my injuries, Doc. I got a review to get to. Okay, he was in a coma. Of course he didn't know. Mr. Fist, because of your, 8-month-long coma, your review has been delayed in favor of, someone from another company. You've got to be kidding me. Are you kidding me? Legally, no, I can't be. I wait all this time to be reviewed, and I end up going into a coma just for probably some D-lister from the other company to get reviewed instead. Well, who is it? Kite Man? Killer Moth? Maybe they got a budget and secured Polka Dot Man. Evening, folks. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Hello, everyone. I know it has been a unreasonable amount of time since I made one of these, but I just haven't been in the mood for a while. But I'm back. And I'm here to review my first non-Marvel Legends figure for this series. The DC Multiverse Hush Superman. Let's get into it. I'm going to start off with looks since that's a pretty important part of the figure. And this is where I think I'm most conflicted. As you can tell, the figure is very bulky. Although personally, I actually like it since it sort of reminds me of Golden Age Superman. Doesn't remind me of Hush Superman. Jim Lee's art of Superman and Hush is a lot more reasonably than proportioned compared to this figure, to say the least. Although I'm fine with it. Although there is a pretty big problem I have with the looks of this figure. His skin tone and face. Now, I'm gonna be very upfront here. This Superman figure is very pale. And I'm not sure why, since Superman gets his powers from the sun. So he would be out in the sun a lot. Therefore, he wouldn't be pale. Other than that, a fairly big issue, this Superman is really solid in terms of looks, especially with the coloring. The shades of blue, red, and yellow used really just invokes the Silver Age design, and I am a very big fan of it. Also important to note, this figure has the big yellow S on the back of the cape, which nearly every figure from this line specifically don't. And that's a bit odd. But what's always important with a figure is how it moves. And this guy has a slightly different articulation style than Marvel Legends. Instead of his head just being able to go up and down, which he ain't the best at, it can tilt side to side and, of course, spin around. Superman's upper torso joint can go forward a bit, but the lower torso joint can also go down. Not very far, mind you. Although it can arch back very well for flying poses. And if you're wondering, yes, like the head, both can spin around, and both can tilt from side to side. Now, the arms don't have traditional butterfly joints. Yes, they can go forward and back, but like the torso and head, they can go all around. Which also means he can raise his arms higher than most figures can. So that's pretty neat. Similar to most figures, he can move here. He's got a bicep swivel, although it's a bit hard to move. He's got double jointed elbows, which can go pretty far. Not in focus. And his hands have a very weird style of articulation, if it could focus. Instead of just having a traditional hinge on the handpiece itself that plugs into an arm, there's this little ball joint right here. So depending on how you have it, it can move up, down, and if you turn it, it can go left and right, and you can rotate the hand separately. Honestly, a pretty neat design. I like it. Now, he can't kick forward very far thanks to that trunk piece right there, but he can do a fairly good split. Not the best, but certainly not the worst. And, yeah, he can't move his legs back very far. Now, his knees, they don't bend the greatest due to how, thick the legs are, but they can still bend a fairly good amount. And the foot joint, very similar to the hand on that ball joint, although this figure, along with all the others in this line, have toe articulation, which is pretty neat. But one of the most important parts of a figure is the accessories. So let's take a look at what Superman comes with. He comes with a pretty nifty clear flight stand that not only has a peg hole for his feet, but of course, it has this clamp which allows you to get Superman into flying poses. Speaking of flying poses, he comes with 2 sets of open hands. So, you can get this figure some pretty nifty flight poses. Now, the McFarlane DC Multiverse line is 7-inch scale. So I'm going to keep this comparison section on Marvel Legends quick. So here he is with 2 standard Marvel Legends. Here he is with 2 larger Legends figures. And as is tradition, here he is with Hitmonkey and Goliath. But the real question is, how does Superman scale with other DC figures? Well, let's find out. Here he is compared to the Bat Family 5-pack Batman and the Criminal Joker from 3 Jokers. Here he is with the DC Rebirth Batman and Joker. And finally, here he is with the White Knight Batman and Joker. But that's enough Batman-related stuff. How does this Superman compare to other League members? Here he is with the Endless Winter Aquaman and Last Night on Earth Wonder Woman. Here he is with the DC Essentials Flash and the DC Multiverse Rebirth Flash, which I think of as Barry and Wally respectively. And rounding off the League members, here he is with Jon Stewart and DC Collectibles Martian Manhunter. And finally, for some 6-inch comparisons, here he is with the Amazing Yamaguchi Batman and the Mattel DC Universe Classics Superman. Now for some villains. Here he is with the modern Lex Luthor figure from DC Multiverse, the DC Multiverse Lobo. Jesus, I forgot how huge this figure is. The DC Universe Classics Parasite and Mongol. And for some very heavy hitters, the Snyderverse Darkseid and Arkham City Grundy Build-A-Fig. Overall, this figure is a very well-made Superman, although the way the face looks and the overall skin tone are rather massive flaws. So, overall, I'd give this Superman a 9 out of 10. Also, the proportions in this line are very weird. Have a great day.